So we have inspection today on the building, so everything's up in the air. Can't really do a video very well. But I haven't done one in a while. I thought I'd better do something to try and help the planet. So people have sort of noticed that there's no news on the Amazon fires. Well, let's go take a look. As we see from space, the Amazon fires are still going. According to the news, the army was dispatched in the area where the fires were, and they say they couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything about the fires. So many scientists are warning that the jungle is burning, completely burning. They say that we're losing really old growth forests, that when that disappears, there's no more mother trees. Sometimes those are the only trees left. Also, the native people that live in that area are being burned out, and that way farmers can move in, raising crops such as coconut for coconut oil, or meat for the meat industry, or even a real waste of valuable resources is using it for biofuels. What a waste that is. God, we certainly are destroying our planet fast. But if we continue to look, let's look over in Africa. You see their fires are going without any issues at all. Nobody's even saying anything. There's war going on, so there's not much you can do about it. And of course, over in Asia, just the Philippines are on fire. Look it up here in China, it's on fire. The earth is burning and we don't care. Well, the next one's even worse than the first piece of news. Japan, or Nihon, is ready to dump 10,000 liters of tritium-laced radioactive wastewater into the Pacific Ocean. By 2022, that's what the plan is. You know, this really is so disgusting. But I think what's going on is that so many of the scientists have a mental block. Let's go over to the board really quickly, if we can, and I'll show you another way that might work to get rid of all this radioactivity in the water. Let nature do it. Okay, let's put the tank in. Okay, so let's just say this is completely full of radioactive water, laced with tritium or anything else. Has a lid over it, you know. Okay, here's what you do. You put a vent right here and right here. On top of that, you put a rather large filter system, like a HEPA filter, even more intense than that. You put a probe from up top to down into the water, and you heat up the water just like you do with a hot water tank. That will cause all the water to evaporate through the filters and on out, clean, vaporized liquid. Then the water, over time, would evaporate out of the tank until there's nothing but a layer of radioactive waste on the side and the bottom of the tank. You then come and you enclose the whole thing, crush it, and then bury it in the proper location for radioactive waste. Sometimes you just have to look at things in a different perspective. Try something completely different. Let the water evaporate through the filter, which cleans it. That way, no dumping in the Pacific Ocean. What a concept. But that's not all that's happening. Now, we have one more problem, is that nitrous oxide, or N2O, is becoming a real problem with greenhouse gas emissions. It's 300 times more potent than CO2. For trapping greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. And it's becoming a real problem because it's being used in fertilizers, and we're once again are fertilizing the land instead of moving the farming indoors in cities, urban areas where the people live. And you don't need fertilizers. You don't need that stuff to spray on anything. Use native plants in garden areas, ornamental planting in front or back of your property, and use the proper food that's grown in that area. And if you move it indoors, you can get rid of pesticides and herbicides and return the farmland back to what it used to be, forests. That's so important right now because of what's happening in the Amazon. Somebody's got to replace these forests or we're in real trouble. Today is a good example of that here in California. On our second day of heat wave, 3-day heat wave, we are in the midst of a La Nina. That means that the temperatures are lower than they are with El Nino. That means that the temperatures on the next La Nina are going to be staggering. We need to do something about getting forests planted. The scientists are telling us that the Amazon is being destroyed, as far as we're concerned, permanently. Thousands of years it will take for the forest to regenerate in these places that are burning. These forests don't normally burn. So, really hot, too hot to go out and do anything outside, and waiting patiently for an inspection that will probably never come.